our live audience to hear this and stuff. So
Yeah. Awesome. So we are live, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. We have people that are live within Zoom, and then we have people that are watching live on YouTube or Facebook. Definitely the Zoom is the highest quality, and so that's why we provided this option. So yeah, welcome to WP Gear's live stream. Today we are talking about things web designers can do to generate income right now. Things are crazy out there. COVID-19, people are at home being quarantined, working from home or not working, but at home. And so we thought this was a great time to share some knowledge and hopefully share some ideas of things that you can do to generate income right now. And so we're live on Facebook, YouTube, we're live on Zoom. And so we got about 40 people in our live stream on Zoom. And so that's definitely where the best quality is. And so we opened up that option where last time we only went to social media and the quality is not quite as good. So yeah, David, anything you want to say before we dive in?
I just want to say, hey, everybody in live land, thanks for joining us. I hope these things are beneficial to you. There's obviously, most of the world is on lockdown and hashtag stay home to try to flatten out coronavirus. So we are going to be sharing some tips and strategies that we think are going to be really, really big going forward. Obviously, the world's been impacted financially, economically. Businesses are closed, people are laid off, they're not generating income. So we kind of wanted to give you some ideas and stuff and structure. The whole goal of our calls is what can we do right now? How can we pivot our business and stuff to uh, make money and get the things that we need to have, for whatever it is, to pay bills, keep our lights on, roof over our head. Obviously our audience is global, and I can't really speak to what's going on in you guys' countries outside of the US. But in the US, they've put in some protective measures and stuff to where, like, landlords can't evict tenants if they don't pay their rent, for example. A lot of that stuff is put into place in the US and stuff, so they're kind of protected. But let's be real. That's great that they're doing that, but at the end of the day, you still need money to eat. You still need money to do things. And if you're not working, you're not able to generate money, it's still going to cause an issue and stuff. So we want to kind of see if we can give you some ideas and stuff. And we're going to share some tips and strategies and stuff. And one thing that we're going to talk about today is things web designers can do to generate income right now, today. So I think Tim's going to jump up. He's going to throw up a whiteboard here, and we're going to kind of jot down some notes. We are recording this, so we will put this recording on wpgears.com. We're going to start, bringing everything in. Tim, there's lots of people saying hi from Switzerland, Germany. Spencer, we haven't even thought about Google Meets, so maybe we'll look into that and stuff. Zoom is just what we use for all of our coaching calls and stuff like that, so we're very familiar with it. We've got Connecticut, California in the house, all kinds of people from all over the world. So Austria, Netherlands, holy moly, this is awesome. Really is a global community and stuff. So yeah. So
Awesome.
we're going to kind of talk, and let's dive in right now, right off the bat. What's the first thing that we can do to generate revenue right now? Well, the first thing, in my opinion, is we can cold call businesses with no websites that are closed. So I can't really speak outside of the US. I imagine it's like this because I have people that work for me and Tim that live in other countries, and they tell me that their businesses are closed as well. So for example, in my little town in Oregon, where I am currently, the majority of the businesses are closed, and a lot of them are completely closed. So they're not generating any revenue. They've had to lay off staff members. I would imagine that those businesses, had they had an option to stay open and generate revenue, would keep the staff intact. And what does that mean? Well, that means they've got a website, They're able to sell their products or services online. I can tell you how I feel personally. I want to support to try to help out my community. So it goes beyond a need of something specific that I have. So if a business is open and they're trying to keep their doors open, I want to try to support them. So I'm going to maybe purchase something from them to help them out. I have that mindset. I imagine I'm not alone in this. I imagine there's a lot of people that want to do that.
Yeah.
So what can we do? We can cold call businesses. What I would do, what I think you can do right away is identify the businesses that are closed and have absolutely no website. And you start putting together a list because I promise you, after all of this is over, if you don't get a hold of them right now, after all of this is over, they will be investing in a website and putting their business online because they never want to go through what they've been through already.
Yeah.
Tim, you look like you want to say something.
Yes, always. No, that's a great point. And we say cold calling, and it's like it's almost like a word for business owners. Everyone hates cold calling. It's not a fun thing. However, it can oftentimes, in times like this, be a necessary thing. And a lot of times, reason why people hate cold calling is because of the rejection aspect of it. You call someone and they're not interested, and you feel rejected, and like you just feel like you just got rejected by a high school date, or something like that. And so, one thing worth noting, though, is a lot of times the reasons why businesses will not want to listen to someone that's cold calling them is because they're super busy running their business. However, times like this, businesses that are closed, they have the time now. Now they're probably more um, receptive than ever to someone that wants to call and help them get their business online and that sort of thing. And so I did a lot of cold calling first couple jobs I had out of college doing sales. And it can be brutal, but it can also be extremely rewarding because you have something that can help someone, such as the skills to bring their business online. Like there is nothing more rewarding than that. And they might be a little bit annoyed, like, hey, why are you calling me? But by the end of it, they're thanking you because you just provided something of value to them that they couldn't do on their own. And you're able to provide that expertise. And so I want to say that because I know when people hear cold calling, they it's almost like, something you just don't want to think about or talk about. But now's the time to get comfortable with it. It's get comfortable being a little bit uncomfortable, I think, is kind of the moral of the story here. Hey, why are you calling me? But by the end of it, David, I hear some echo.
Oh yeah, that was me. I'm you're as you're talking, I'm going to all of the places where we're streaming because I'm pretty sure people are probably talking to us and stuff, and I'm muting what's going on. So I apologize for that. So what do we mean when we say cold call businesses? One thing that I want to say besides making that list is start calling them. I guarantee you the business owners have that line directed to their line. They've laid off all of their staff. So there's an opportunity to get the decision maker like never before without having to go through a gatekeeper, for the first time. Call that business's business number. I promise you they're either going to direct you to someone to talk to, or they're going to be answering it right there themselves. So, and you're going to have just an opportunity right off the bat. And so one thing that you can do is that. So cold call them, make a list of websites, because I promise you they are going to want their business online. They're going to be ready and willing to invest like never before. So what's another thing that you can do immediately? And this is going to be to help out the business more than it is to help you out generate revenue right now. But in turn, Tim was talking about the trust factor. Tim was talking about businesses that you're going out and helping is going to mean a lot to them when they do decide, hey, this is who I want to use and stuff. So
Yeah, really quick. We had
gatekeepers.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me. Gatekeepers is a term in the U.S. where, every business has a business owner and they are the decision maker. Well, there may be a secretary or a receptionist or a manager that shields them from salespeople. We call those gatekeepers in the US, where, hey, I want to come sell you my product. Can I speak to the decision maker? And the decision maker said, and the gatekeeper or the manager, secretary, or receptionist says, I'm sorry, they're busy right now. You know, leave your contact information and we'll call you back. And they never call you back. That's referred to as a gatekeeper. They're guarding that decision maker. Did I do that? Tim's usually the definer. I should have let
Yeah,
Tim do
no,
that.
no, that was a perfect definition. We just had a question from Jennifer. What is the best way to find these businesses? What I'll let you answer first, Dave, and I'll jump in.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it depends on the size of town you're in, but locally you can drive around. Well, I guess stay home. Never mind. Take that back. Don't drive around. We don't want you to get in trouble. I don't know what your rules are. Um, so, obviously, even if they don't have a website, Google indexes businesses, so there will be businesses listed, so if you want to put, type in, if you're going to go after a specific niche, restaurants, you know, your town slash state, whatever, it's going to list all of these restaurants and you'll be able to easily determine immediately whether or not they have a website because Google lists a website link if they have a website. If they don't have a website, guess what? There's no website link. And that's easy, 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 easy. So, best thing to do is to just use Google. Tim, anything
Yeah.
to add?
Um, yeah, I would say a lot of times your local area will have like a chamber of commerce or like a list of different businesses that are in your local area, kind of sorted by industry category, that sort of thing. And so every area is different. I know my local city does have one, and so you can see a lot of businesses on there. And that's sometimes might be the only place you can find them if they don't have a website. And we say businesses that don't have a website because that oftentimes is like the lowest hanging fruit. But you can also reach out to businesses that have a website but have a very outdated website, and they're like, hey, this is, you know, things are right now are slow because of COVID-19. It's a great time to revamp, and so you can talk to the right person, and then it can be a really fruitful time. So the next thing now we talked about was with businesses that don't have a website, or as I just mentioned, have an outdated website. Another one that I keep seeing is companies that are open, but you wouldn't know that they're open. And so that's a big deal because, like, for example, I've dealt with this in my own daily life, trying to find what restaurants in my local area are open. And really what businesses should be doing right now is they should have a big old promo bar banner at the top of their website saying, we're still open for takeout, we're still open for delivery, we're still open for this or that, because there's so much uncertainty right now. We don't know who's open and who's not. And so it's like I had to trying to find a restaurant to go pick up food from. I had to call 3 restaurants just to see if they're actually open. And so that to me is like such a small but powerful thing, is to reach out to these websites and say, hey, I know that you're open because I just got food from your place yesterday, but I had to really dig to find out if you're open. Like, you really should have something on your website, some sort of a notice. I'm a web developer. I can help you with that. I can add a promo banner. I can do this. I can do that, to make sure that your customers know that you are open during this time, because I was able to go and call and reach out, and I a little deeper to find out. But a lot of people aren't going to do that. They're going to see your website. They're not going to see that you're open or not. And they're going to, go on to the next guy that is promoting the fact that they're still open, because that's something that everyone is dealing with, is who's open and who's not. And if you're not promoting the fact that you're open, then a lot of people will assume that you're not.
Yeah, I mean that's such an easy thing, and you're right. I mean, a promotion bar, a pop up, anything like that that notifies you immediately is huge right now. Because I just ordered takeout last night to support a local restaurant, and they had nothing on their website. You know, I knew they were open, like Tim said. I knew that, but non-tech savvy people who are using their phones to just find things If they don't see something simple, they're going to probably assume that it's closed. So that's free information that you can give and help. And even if you wanted to have some templates ready, if they have WordPress website and you already have some templates made for this, hey, it's a foot in the door. You know, I have some templates created for COVID-19. I'd like to just give them to you. You can have your web developer implement them or whatever. It's going to be helpful. And that we don't have one. Oh, hello. Okay. You know, note to self, touch base with, this X business and stuff. So there are some questions that kind of have flowed in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Michelle brings up a really, really good point here in chat. She says, might businesses not be short of cash to invest in a website at the moment? Which means the way I interpret this, Michelle, is aren't they short of cash right now because they're closed and not making money? At the end of the day, they're businesses and they realize that they could be making money had they had another option, an online option. So where does that come? In priority, in my mind, when I'm looking at my neighbors who are still generating revenue because they have an online presence and they're able to sell their products and goods online, guess what becomes top priority where I'm going to spend my money? It's going to be an online presence. In the US, the government is giving out 0% interest loans, extremely low interest loans to businesses. I guarantee you they're going to take advantage of this. Some of them even qualify to not have to pay the loan back if they meet certain criteria like payroll. And I don't know if an online presence is something, but I'm pretty sure that some kind of online presence is, to get your business online is going to be a top priority and stuff. So I think businesses are going to be more concerned about not losing revenue completely in the future. Because look, COVID-19 is not going away just because we flatten the curve right now. I'm pretty sure it's going to come back and the world as we know it with viruses and pandemics and stuff. This was just an eye opener for us and stuff. So they're going to
Yeah.
put things into place and they're already talking about it and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think
And
it's a
on that
good
note
question,
regarding,
Michelle.
yeah, on that note regarding business not having money, the tendency is during times like this to stop spending and try to reduce expenses and stuff like that. But the businesses that are smart will realize, well, hey, now's an opportunity. I'm going to see all my competitors stop spending money, stop promoting, not putting up a new website. Now's the time to invest and then be able to overtake those competitors. That might not make sense for a small local restaurant, but like businesses in general, like this is the time when everyone else is not investing in their business that the smart business owners will invest. And so that's what you see happen a lot, like with the stock market, for example. When everyone else is selling, that's a good time to buy, right? It's like you do the opposite of what the market's doing, and you can apply that same principle to local business with marketing investments as well.
Awesome. Well, the next thing that, what you can do right now is like, so you have some businesses, namely restaurants, but a lot of local businesses here also, I'll give you an example, a game store, that sells puzzles and board games and all that stuff. They're offering curbside pickup or delivery, but they have no online sale ways to make sales online. So they're basically they're allowing people to call in to their stores or their business, purchase something over the phone, and they will either deliver it or you can pick it up at curbside. Well, that's great. Find those businesses that are doing that but don't have online sales capability. You don't have to build an entire e-commerce platform to allow people to sell products, goods, and services online. There's lots of options that you can give a business. So look at some of those options, allow them to start selling their stuff online, or at least be thinking about what they can do to sell stuff online. So obviously they're doing some things that they're wanting to stay in business, afloat, keep people employed. And I've went and bought a couple of games already from this game store because I'm cooped up in the house and I want something to do outside of sitting at my computer working all day or Netflixing, So I've bought some board games. Ticket to Ride's a really great one if you have multiple people and families and stuff. It's an awesome game. Just going to throw that out there. But give them options to sell online. If an e-commerce site makes sense, go for it. If an e-commerce site doesn't make sense and they only have one or two products, set them up with the ability to sell those products online through a form, a plugin, whatever. So there.
Yeah. On our last live stream that David and I did last week, we shared some examples of local businesses that are adapting and are doing things differently in order to stay in business and be able to continue serving their customers. And one of them was a coffee shop that started selling their like these. One of the things that they're most famous for was their avocado toast, right? So they started selling these kits where you can go and you can order it online and they'll deliver you all the ingredients so you can make it yourself at home, like really creative ideas like that. And so that's just an example in the food industry, but so many businesses, like David mentioned with the video game store, there's opportunities for businesses to start selling something online. And, they have to adapt quickly, but that can be your foot in the door to help them do so.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And as David mentioned, it doesn't have to be a full online store, which can be very time consuming. You can help them get up quickly using such as like a form plugin, Gravity Forms, Caldera Forms, Forminator, which is free. And you can like literally within a half hour, you can get a form built that can accept payments and you can get a local business online selling stuff right away.
Yeah, and Zane confirms the Small Business Association is giving out loans to small businesses that need it for this very reason. You know, they know that everybody pretty much has the ability to be online, but they're not online and stuff. So I would imagine that some of these, you know, low interest, zero interest, no paid back loans, that's going to be a factor. That may be one of the qualifications for them and stuff. I can't be 100% sure, so don't quote me on that. You'll have to look it up yourself wherever it is that you live and stuff. So Jay asked a question, and it kind of dovetails into our last point. He said, what about doing free work or heavily discounted work during these times to help out these businesses? What's a good rule of thumb? Tim and I teach never discount your services unless there's a world pandemic. And I'm not saying you have to discount your services, but
It's the one exception.
this is the one exception where, because let's face it, payment plans and cutting rates. We're all of a sudden now open to it. Why? Because we're sitting at home not doing work. So what's more important? Not getting any revenue because we're sticking firm to our normal rates, or should we open up payment plans? Should we open up discounts like we've never done before? Some of these small businesses that may not have the cash flow immediately, but they may have some, at least you're working and bringing in some revenue. So I definitely would consider in this time, this day and time with what's going on, consider payment plans, consider discounting your rates to help out, not so much to lure people in to get their business, but to be helpful, to be helpful.
Yeah.
Some of these small businesses that couldn't afford, a full blown e-commerce website before, you know, you may want to consider discounting it so they can afford it and help them get online. Look, you're gonna have a solid forever customer if you do this kind of stuff, if you work with people. So if you have that type of mentality and stuff, it's really important.
Yeah, absolutely. And the two things I want to say to that. I typically I don't like working for free. I don't like cutting rates, anything like that. But as David mentioned, during a global pandemic, this is a time to be helpful and serve. And so I have a client who's been a long time client, and they're a small local restaurant, have multiple locations, and they actually had to close, temporarily close two of the restaurants, and then they're doing like takeout on two of them, and then they had to permanently close another store as well. And so they've been hit hard. And so I did probably about half a day's worth of work getting the website and everything up to date with all the information for COVID-19 and how it's affecting their hours and stuff. And it went above and beyond what I would normally include in a maintenance package. But I didn't even bill them. I sent them an invoice saying, zero charge, because I just didn't feel right with everything they're going through, charging them for that. And so I'm not saying go and do that to all your clients. Like we all have bills to pay, but I think there's a time to do that, and it can definitely come back to help you later down the road. Because as David mentioned, you do that for a client, you help them out, you have a client for life, and they're going to refer you to every company out there. And another thing Zane just mentioned, have you guys had success with payment plans? If so, how? And payment plans is something I've done for a while, like way before global pandemic. And there's a couple things you have to make sure. One is, if you're doing a payment plan, you want to make sure that you're hosting the website for them on your server, so that they can't take the hard work that you did and then run and never pay you. Hopefully, especially right now, scammers aren't going to do that, but you never know. And so if you are hosting the website, then you're protected, because if they don't pay you, well, eventually you can take the website down if you need to. So that protects you. And then the second part of that for payment plans is make sure that you have some sort of automatic invoicing, so you don't have to continuously send them an invoice. And so I use FreshBooks. That's what I've always used and loved. I know a lot of people use 17 Hats. You can use QuickBooks Online that has a recurring invoice, so that once they put in their billing information, it'll automatically charge them. And that way you don't have to be chasing them around every month and feel guilty about it and all of that.
Yeah, I think those are really, really, really good strategies and stuff. And one last thing before we end this call is one of our viewers asked a question: how would these phone conversations with businesses start? Very good question. I would be where normally, if you have the gatekeeper, the person guarding the decision maker, you may have to get creative to get to that person. In this day and age right now, I would just be forthright. I would tell them exactly what you're doing. Hey, my name is, David Blackman. I'm with Aspen Grove Studios in Divi Space, and we're one of your local web developers. And I noticed that you guys don't have an online presence. I'd like to help you out with that. We've got some programs that we're doing to help small businesses, and come from a helpful service aspect, but be transparent, be upfront and honest, and just tell them what you're calling for. It's going to do two things for you. It's going to weed out the people who aren't interested, and you're not going to waste your time with them. But the ones who are interested are going to tell you, "Oh my God, I've been looking for someone like you. How do I get my business online?" You're going to have those people, but you're also going to weed out the people that aren't interested in spending any money. So it's going to be twofold. I would go straight in, be transparent, be honest with them, and just call them and stuff. So I hope this live has helped some people, give you some ideas of things that you can do to start generating revenue immediately. Um, Tim and I have got some calls planned. We're going to be doing a couple a week. We're going to be doing more than that. We've got a couple of coaching calls because Tim and I also teach. We have a Divi Business Expert course that we've reopened to allow people to come in and kind of up their game. Um, so we're going to be doing several coaching calls a week for that alone, but we're also going to be doing these webinars and stuff to try to give, some ideas and tips and stuff. And we have some really good things planned for upcoming calls. So our calendar looks like it's going to be like Tuesdays and Thursdays will be free webinar. Is going to be kind of this structure where we'll come in, we'll have a specific topic, and we'll give you some specific ideas that you can, use right away and stuff. So
Yeah.
Tim, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I mean, the last thing I'll say is, we wanted to do these free live stream webinars to kind of give back and help people during this time. But as David mentioned, we have the Divi Business Expert course. So if you're interested in kind of going deeper, as David mentioned, we're going to be doing special COVID-19 going really deep coaching calls with our Divi Business Expert course students. And so I saw some of our students here on the call. Shout out to you, Alicia. Thanks for joining. So we don't want to make this a salesy webinar by any means, but if you are interested, you can go to wpgears.com and then go to Divi Business Expert course, and you can find information. We have special pricing and payment plans available right now as well.
Yeah, we've actually given our Black Friday lowest discount ever. We just decided to open it up at that rate continuously until all of this stuff is over. So, hey, if you've got some time to learn, and if some of our options don't tailor your budget and stuff right now, do not hesitate to reach out to Tim and I. Ping us on Facebook, send us an email, and let us know where you're at and stuff. And we would love to try to help and stuff. So, yeah.
Shout out to you, Michael, as well. Alicia just said Divi Business Expert course is amazing, so helpful. Michael said, yes, I agree with Alicia. Divi Business Expert is brilliant. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate
Yeah,
that.
we kind of dive deeper into specific things, kind of similar to this on the coaching calls and stuff, but we go much deeper and stuff on specific topics that ways you can do to make money in your business. So thanks for joining us, everybody. And if you're, not in the course, we'll see you on Thursday. If you are, we'll see you tomorrow, because we've got a coaching call coming up tomorrow. So yeah, Tim, you want to give our traditional sign off?
Yes, absolutely. Thanks everyone for joining, and take care. Bye-bye.